Welcome to the Future in 15 show. This is a special episode for me because we are on a football pitch. Oh, no, sorry.
Rugby pitch.
We're at a rugby pitch, and this is a rugby ball, and I thought it was a football. But anyways, I want to throw it like this, but how do you throw it?
So the idea is that you take it and you spin it across from person to person.
My American friends are going to tease me for this.
They are. There's no stitching in this. Doesn't look like a corset. It's a real man's ball versus what you guys have.
Yeah, well, okay.
And you don't have to wear pads to play with it, which is nice.
Those guys are brutal.
Yes.
But let me just say, we're at the Future 15 show, obviously, is all focused on the meetings and events sector and innovation. And why are we on a rugby pitch in North London at Allianz Park, as you can see in the background? Because Allianz Park also does as a venue, which we just finished having an event here discussing the future of the DMC model. But today, I'm here with Jason Allan Scott, whose reputation precedes him in our industry. He's an entrepreneur. I'll let him tell you. Actually, you know what? Don't even tell him who you are. Don't tell him who you are.
Google.
Go to jasonallanscott.com, look him up, or go to Twitter and find him because he's impressive.
Thank you.
But why it's special for me, actually, is because Jason is also my fitness coach, and I'm on week 10 of 12 of this program that he's put me on, all leading up to the Calisthetics Games coming up on the 14th of November. That's what I want to talk to you about.
Fantastic.
So Jason, what is the Calisthetics Games?
So calisthenics is a mixture of calisthenics, which is body weight training, and athletics. So calisthenics, athletics, calisthetics. Really simple. The concept being, how do you define athleticism? For years we've talked about athleticism as if it's something that's only held by professional sports people, when in fact we're all athletes. We just got to work out which athleticism are we strongest in, whether that's power, endurance, stamina, whether that's a specialist movement or a generalist movement. And I think one of the greatest things that CrossFit has done for all of us is reminded us of the importance of being generalists. That it's all good and well to be able to lift a bar or throw yourself onto a plate or to go into a front squat. But if you also can't run, if you can't fall, if you can't stand, then you're missing out on things that you need throughout your entire life. And the great fighter at the moment, Conor McGregor, with his hiring of a movement coach versus a purely physical coach, reminded us again of the importance of generalism. So calisthenics is about general athleticism, showing you where you are on a baseline, what do you need to improve on, in the hopes that one day you'll be a complete athlete. And the Calisthetics Games is testing that athleticism to find the greatest athlete, while at the same time raising money for a charity.
What's that charity?
So how it works is very clever. We, the athletes, sweat. The punter bets on us to win the games. The winner of the games takes all the money raised from every athlete and donates it to a charity of their choice. And 100% of all proceeds go to that charity. It's the first of its kind, the idea being that sports can create a better social impact through mass participation, but also through the support of the athletes and the support of the attendees.
Now, the first Calisthetics Games is specifically for the events industry.
Correct.
Why did you choose the events industry?
Every single year, Forbes magazine does a list of the top 10 most stressful careers in the world. And every year, events comes in that top 10. We've been top 5 for 3 years. Yet in our industry, we're not promoting sort of health and well-being and health and wellness as much as we could. And I think it comes from a lack of understanding our role within that. A lack of understanding of how important movement is, how important mindfulness is, how important nutrition is. So that's why I wanted to bring something straight to the forefront of the mind of the event planner, of the venue owner, of the caterer, to say, are you looking at this holistically, as well as just answering a brief that comes from a corporate or an event planner?
And so how can people sign up for the Calisthetics Games?
Really easy. So you can either go to www.calistheticsgames.com, or you could go mustbeonit.com/calisthetics. But really the easiest way is to email us, Jenna, Jenna, @calisthetics.com.
So we're coming off, about 3 weeks ago, we had a VitWell week, and a lot of talks around health and wellness in the events industry. You gave some talks around that as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I talked about mindfulness in events and in what we do as a business. I was very fortunate as well to talk about it for the Healthy Venues, which is part of the World Obesity Forum. about saying that as people in events, because we look after millions of people all over the world in an industry that's worth 1.2 trillion US dollars, it's important for us to start looking at everything we do and asking ourselves, are we providing areas where we can be mindful? Are we looking at our food to remind people of the nutritious values? Are we looking at our footprint within that space, as well as all the small things we can do on a day-to-day basis? Whether that's prioritizing, whether that's pre-mortem versus just post-mortem, which is something we all do in events. We're looking at afterwards and go, what can we have fixed? But why not sitting beforehand and say, what can we put in that'll just give us a bit of space and a bit of breathing room? And that was all very part of that event well opportunity.
So health and wellness has become quite popular in our sector, clearly off the back of Event Well, and that's been going for a few years now.
Yeah.
Is this just a fad that's going to fade away in a couple of years?
Hopefully it's not a fad, and it's an excellent question. We've noticed with things like this, it definitely has a cyclical nature, right? We went through this, and you Americans coined it beautifully by calling it the granola age. This age of hippies sort of saying, hey man, you are what you eat. You know, you should have more herbs, you should be more of a vegetarian, you should try and be a vegan, you should avoid killing meat. And for a while that really took on. But then it disappeared and we went to a very carnivore-based diet. And all that's happened is that cyclical nature has come back. What has come this time, which again was really in the 70s, was the mind. The idea of, is the brain a physical manifestation of the mind? Is the mind more important than brain? Are we addressing mental health like something we've hidden under the carpet for thousands of years? And I'm hoping that is not a fad. Yes, food's always going to be a fad. Whether it's, Joe Wicks's 15, lean in 15 and high intensity training, and I'm sure the next one we'll see is low intensity, steady state, because we'll talk about the benefits of that, and there's after that will be group classes again, and that is cyclical. But the idea that that we hold on to is the most important thing we'll ever own, hopefully that is something we'll have till the end of man and women.
So Jason, obviously you've been coaching me for several months now.
Yeah.
I've sort of maintained a standard of fitness for myself. Nothing crazy or anything. I've never been a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But
although you were a bodybuilder and you studied weightlifting, so you knew what you were doing.
I was playing American football at the time.
Yeah.
But I've seen massive results over the past several months. But I think it's important that people know that with Calisthetics Games, with any sort of health and wellness, it's not about being an Instagram model. It's not about comparing yourself to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Absolutely.
It's about comparing yourself to the future vision of yourself and improving. So what are your thoughts on that?
Calisthetics talks about this quite a lot. When we talk with coaching clients like yourself, we talk about the fact that we chase progress, not perfection. That the idea is to be the best version of you that you can be. I know when we first talked about this, you said, I understand my body, I train really well, I eat really well, and you did. And I said, well, let's just take an experiment on for you where I'm simply going to look at your macros, where instead of you counting calories, we're going to look at your macros. Instead of you just going into the gym, we're going to create a gym program around your physicality, around your general sort of habits. And I also know that you do all this kind of thing, so your time is so limited. So I try to create a workout that works around that. And that's what we do when we talk at any of our talks, at any of the calisthenics events that we do, at the Calisthetics Games. We talk about the fact that we're constantly put into these holes. You're a millennial, you're a baby boomer, you're a Aquarius, you like long walks on the beach. No, you're a snowflake. There's no one like you. You're an absolute individual fingerprint.
A snowflake with a positive connotation.
100%. So we're going to treat you as such. We're going to talk to you about microbiome. We're going to talk to you about your food. We're going to talk to you about your exercise. We're going to talk to you about your movement, your sleep patterns. And I think hopefully that's something that won't be a trend. That it won't be a negative connotation any more than eating granola was to the 70s. That it was a good thing that people ate granola. It's a good thing that we're looking at a more me culture versus this, put me in a box, I'll be fine, it'll work out. I think, and we talk about this a lot with calisthenics and with Calisthetics Games, don't try and be Steve Cook if you're a guy. Don't try and be Paige Hathaway, which is a big Instagram model that's constantly taking her clothes off, or Kim Kardashian. That's not because they're not great. They're great for who they are, but just be the best version you can be and understand what makes you as a system work.
Well, as they say, health is the new wealth.
I like the guy that says that.
That was you, right?
That was me,
yeah.
Yes, yes.
All right, good. Well, now you've been quoted on Future in 15.
Fantastic.
So, look, thank you for joining in today. Go check out Calisthetics Games. Join and participate as an individual or a team for the first games on the 14th of November. And then for other sectors or for other events related Calisthetics Games in the future, be sure to follow Jason.
Looking forward to having you at one of the games and talking to you about your health and your well-being. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
That was grand.